The Apostle John was consumed by the love of Jesus. When John wrote his Gospel explaining the life of Jesus, he described himself simply and only as the disciple whom Jesus loved. This is how John saw himself. Throughout the whole course of his life, he was the one that Jesus loved. And this poured through John's life and flowed out into all of his relationships. There's this amazing story that's told, and we don't really know if it's true or not, but it's a really ancient story about the Apostle John, that when he was an old man, every Sunday when the church was gathered together for worship, a group of people would drag this old guy up, help him to stand up. He would turn around in great pain and look at the congregation and say one phrase, "Love one another." And then with great pain and such an arduous effort, they would seat John back in his seat. And eventually some of the younger people in the church looked around at each other and said to people around them, "Why do we keep dragging this old man up? Why every single week do we go through this ritual of bringing John up for him to say the one same phrase every single week, love one another?" And the answer came back, John is a man consumed by Jesus' love. John has experienced the love of Christ in such a powerful and such a profound way, and he never wants the church to lose that. And with every ounce of his life, with every straining bone in his body, he wanted to continue to exhort the church to be a group of people who lived out and expressed this deep, consuming love of Jesus. You see, John knew that we needed to know and to experience the love of Jesus first and foremost if it was going to flow out in and through our lives. And my question for you today is, do you know yourself as the one that Jesus loves? Are you consumed by the love of Jesus? Are you so full of his love and his presence and power that you just can't help but love the people around you? Do you want to know him more in the fullness of this love? As the Apostle John was writing to the church in 1 John chapter 4, he says, "Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, the love of God is in us, and his love is made complete in us." John's describing this beautiful sense that we are meant to know the love of God. We're meant to live in the fullness of the truth that we are the beloved children of God. And that's meant to characterize and impact how we view all of our interactions with one another. Again, as John is writing this, the church is in a hard and a painful season of intense persecution and strife and difficulty. And again, as I look at the world around us, what this world needs so desperately, what the church needs so desperately, is a deep understanding of the love of Jesus. We need to know ourselves as the ones that Jesus loves. And then from that understanding, we need to continue to live out Jesus' call to us. Jesus' command to us in John chapter 13, when he says, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this will all people know that you are my disciples if you love one another." Jesus and John are united in this sense that we are meant to be consumed by this love. This love is meant to characterize all of our relationships with one another. And today I want to encourage you, if you're struggling to know yourself as the one that Jesus loves, just sit down and ask God, "Lord, would you show me how much you love me? Would you teach me how to receive your love? Would you reshape my understanding of my identity, that I could know myself as the disciple that you love?" And then from that space, let's make an intentional effort to love one another really well. In the midst of all the complexity, in the midst of all the division, in the midst of all the uncertainty of these days, let's love one another really well. God bless and keep you. Love one another.